Hey friends, welcome back to Thrive and Align Healing Podcast. This is episode 68. This week we're going to talk about confidence versus self-confidence. I can't believe I haven't talked about this before because this is like one of the main things I teach on in coaching. And I have my whiteboard. We're going to rock and roll, okay? So confidence, all of us have confidence. Even people that feel like they have like low self-esteem have confidence. Because confidence is historically based. It's based in like lots of reps for those athletes out there, right? So I can say, Dr. Carmen, you are very confident in your ability to walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
Very true. Because you have millions of reps underneath you, right? And your brain doesn't even have to think about it anymore. It knows that it can walk. And if you needed to run, you may not like it, but your mind is confident in your ability to run, even though you may not be a runner. Right? Because there's some historical evidence and very close assimilation. Like if I can walk, I can run.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why I say all humans have confidence. Even for what we think, like, no, like this person, like I don't have a lot of confidence, or I'm like, I have a low self-esteem, whatever, but you have confidence in things that you've done over and over that has lots of historical backing, right? People that have done a job for 3 years are confident in their ability to do a job. Okay. So we think that in this confidence, which is based on reps, history, and our brain pulls from the things that are similar to what we already have confidence to help us feel a sense of ease to do something a little bit different. As long as there's a very close similarity, we feel a little bit of a comfort to do something different. Except we run into walls when we're wanting to do something new that we've never done before. Okay. Or things that we're wanting, right? That we've never had before. So for people that, like what I came out of higher ed, we worked 8 to 5. The pay range in higher ed is anywhere from 25,000 to about 70,000, right? And for those of us that moved out, to be able to go and imagine earning 6 figures, we don't have any confidence in that. We've never done it before, right? We only have historical based evidence that I can earn $40,000. And so that's why it's very difficult for us to try new things, do things that we've never done before, completely change careers, right? Get a divorce, go back out into the dating field, all these things that are so unfamiliar. And we start questioning ourselves and doubting ourselves. Well, I don't have confidence, right? I'm not a confident person. The problem is that you're trying to use the wrong thing to get you to the new place, because the brain wants to pull from history to prove to us that we are safe to do this. The new unknown thing doesn't feel safe. We have no historical evidence to prove that as an organism that we will remain safe, and so we can stay in that parasympathetic nervous system. The unknown, the unfamiliar triggers the brain into, this could be a threat to our survival, right? And it doesn't want us to do that. So then it starts coming up with all of its beautiful, very sleek tools that starts thoughts. Sorry, my brain's tired, so it's like things come out slower. It starts gearing up to provide lots of different thoughts for us, lots of different beliefs for us to not go do the new thing because it's threatening. It feels very threatening to us. And so we have to move to a place of self-confidence, because self-confidence is required for future new things that have never been done before. And what is the difference between confidence and self-confidence? Well, you already know confidence is historical based. Self-confidence has 4 components of it, right? That you have to have all 4 of these components to take and be in a place of self-confidence to do the new things. And those 4 things are, number 1, you have to believe in yourself. So, Dr. Carmen, when I say this, I think a lot of times I teach these 4 things and people are like, yeah. So I really want to kind of get specific so people's brains can really like be very clear on this. So when I say believe in yourself, what does that mean to you?
I think that means like that I am capable,
Okay.
right? It's tricky because I want to use the word believe and confidence. I want to say that I'm confident and capable in doing X, Y, Z.
Yep.
But yeah, when I think of if I believe in myself, it's something that I feel like I can do, something I'm capable of doing.
Okay. And I think that that would be a lot of people's definition. Okay. This belief in ourselves. And my brain wanted to do that at first, right? Like if I believe in myself, then I believe I am a person. I'm always going to go back to money because those are my big goals, right? Then I believe I'm a person that can earn 6 figures. My brain doesn't believe that though.
Okay.
Right? So when we say belief in yourself, it has to go even like deeper into believing in your ability, like believing that you're capable, you touched on it, of any and all things. And that you're in capability, because there's a lot of times that when I say I'm believing I'm capable, my brain says, yes, I'm capable. And then it has this whole very hidden list over here of things that I'm not capable of.
Okay.
And those things I've discovered recently aren't even based in reality. They're things that my brain decided I wasn't capable of before I ever even tried it. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
There's things that aren't familiar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because our brain always is wanting to loop back. It's always wanting to loop back to history where it's safe and knows and it's familiar. So when I say that you have to believe in yourself, you have to move to a place of where you believe that you are capable, or you're curious to see what you are capable of. Okay. And that you believe that you can figure it out. So really truly believing yourself is like, imagine if I took you and I put you on a desert island.
Okay.
With nothing. Right? That believing in yourself is believing like, okay, I believe, even though I don't have all the answers and I don't have all these skills, that I can figure it out.
Right.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's this belief, like, well, with the desert island, that you can survive, right? Regardless of what you have available. Yeah. And what you lean on is like your toolbox.
Yes. Yes. It's just this belief that like I can survive. I can figure it out no matter what situation I'm in.
Yes.
Okay. Because a lot of times when we say we believe in ourselves, it's attached to this confidence. And it starts falling apart on us when we're trying to do this new thing. And I'm telling you, you've got to believe in yourself. And it's attached to this.
I see.
Did I explain that well?
It does. That totally makes sense.
Okay.
Because it's believing in yourself regardless of the circumstance.
Yes.
Yep. Regardless, whatever circumstance, that you still believe in yourself.
Yes.
That doesn't waver. Okay.
Yes. That's exactly well said. Yes. Okay. So then the second one is that you trust yourself. They're very similar, right? Like I believe in myself regardless of what circumstances come up in the world, which is a very beautiful thing because we cannot control the circumstances.
Right.
Couldn't control that COVID came, right?
True.
And this triggered a lot of people because this is where they live. Mm-hmm. There was no historical evidence to prove that they could survive it. So it sends us in a tailspin. Versus if I'm in belief in myself, COVID can come, it can go. We can, another thing can come and go. I still believe I will figure it out. And then I trust myself. And trusting yourself is for me, what I'm learning trusting myself is that I trust my body, right? That it knows how to heal itself. It knows what it's doing. that it's not dumb and doesn't, it's just like trying to destroy my life, right? But I also trust like my intuition, right?
Yeah.
And I trust that um I that I'm doing the best I can, and that, I mean, it's so hard to explain like how to trust yourself. It's like you make a decision and you just trust you, and you trust that decision you make.
Right.
Do you have a better example like of like trusting yourself?
I think if you compare it to not trusting yourself,
Yeah.
would be that you're constantly second guessing,
Yes.
right? Like, oh, is this a good decision? Am I, yeah, making this, like, am I choosing the right thing, right? The right path, the right whatever. And it's kind of that constantly going back and forth, that pros and cons list. And it's hard to make, like to make that stand and be like, I'm going to make that decision. I trust that whatever I decide is going to, is going to be the decision at that time with the information that I have.
Right. And trusting yourself that you will figure it out,
Yeah.
that you're capable of overcoming whatever, right? So yeah, trusting yourself.
Yeah.
The third one is my favorite because it really takes these two things and it provides a safety. Sorry, the cat's on the computer. It provides a safety net for these two things. Okay, because we're kind of going out on a limb by believing, because we've been taught, and I have been taught, been programmed, that I don't have the answers. All the answers are outside of me. Other people know more than me. Other people are smarter than me. Other people have it figured out, right? That I'm wrong. All these things, right? I think a lot of us have been taught these things.
Right.
So when we can move into this place that I believe in me, and then I can figure it out, and then I trust that I will figure it out.
And I think to add on to that trusting in yourself, is that there's also not one single right answer.
Yes.
To any question. Yes. Right? I think that when you trust yourself, you recognize whatever answer I choose or whatever I choose is going to be the appropriate one right now, right? It's not like everything only has one, like, one answer.
I think that's a fantastic point, because it's a peeling away of that layer as well, because I am not fully there yet. I still think that I trust myself and I believe in myself, but I'm not sure there's like the answer I choose is the right answer.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Good point. So the third is having your own back.
Yes.
So you've chosen to trust yourself. You've chosen to believe yourself. Having your own back is saying, no matter what decision I make, it was the right decision. I did the best I could to make that decision. It may not turn out, but I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm not going to throw myself underneath the bus. I'm not going to talk trash to myself. I'm not going to send myself into shame. I'm not going to send myself into regret. Because guilt, right? And Stacey Bayman is one of my mentors. And I was listening to one of our lessons today, and she did a really good job of explaining like regret. Like, regret serves zero purposes. So if I ask you, what purpose does regret serve? You're not going to be able to come up with an answer.
Yeah.
Right? Does your brain not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, regret doesn't really teach us anything.
Yep.
Yeah, no.
All it is just a beating up of yourself.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, I love this image. So when my ex-husband was a college football coach, right? The wives, for some reason, they set the wives up in the stand with all of the fans. Not that we are above them. I want to clarify that. It's that fans have lots of uninformed opinions. Right? And so they would set us out in the middle of the fans, and we would get to listen to these fans who, mind you, are not football coaches. Yeah. Talk trash about our husbands. They didn't know they were our husbands. They were just talking trash about the coaches, how dumb the coaches were, how incompetent the coaches were, how they needed to fire the coaches. And it's like, look, dude, you work in the cheese factory.
Yeah.
Like our husbands work 60 hours a week studying football, coaching football, right? So it's like this regret is that to me. It's this fan that knows shit about anything that's got all these opinions of how you should have done it because they know better, because their high horse has a much better perspective than why you're down there in the trenches doing it. And that's what regret is for me. It's just this high horse perspective to shame you. Where it's like, you, like, why this, you weren't in the trenches doing this with me. You get to look at this like from a hindsight and have this high horse perspective, right?
Yeah, where you don't have all the information, right? It's like, oh, yeah, you are forming an opinion based on just one little sliver, one, like one play, right? Or one quarter, whatever in this
Right.
particular situation. But yeah, that's true. I can relate to that.
Yeah. So having our own back just means that you just make a decision. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I made a decision. It didn't work out well. It didn't work out how I wanted to, but I'm not going to beat myself up for it. I'm going to shame myself, guilt myself, live in regret, because those three things are time wasters.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah. They start this vicious cycle, right? Of that regret and that shame, that in that vicious cycle of sort of that negative self-talk, right? And then your brain tries to use that as evidence of, oh, well, we're going to keep you safe, so
Right.
don't do something new.
Yes. Yes. And it keeps you stuck.
Yeah.
And then you don't believe in yourself and you don't trust yourself because you are literally the meanest human being to yourself.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So we knock that crap out and we say, I just have my own back. No matter how all this turns out, I know that I did the best I could with the information I had, and that I'm doing the best I can.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then the fourth component is that you are willing to feel all emotions. And that is super important when you guys are trying to go out and do new things, right? You're going to fail. It is not going to turn out perfectly. You're not going to try to start this business and get 1,000 new customers with your first Facebook ad. It doesn't work like that, right? But when we started our business, I thought it did. I was looking for evidence to show me that I was a good business owner, right? And I wasn't getting that evidence because I didn't believe I was a good business owner. That's what the energy was being infused into this stuff, right? And so I had this perfectionist ideology. You just start a business, the customers come, they pay you money. That shows you're a good business owner. And it's like, no. I have to be willing to feel any and all the emotions. I have to feel disappointment, sadness. Yeah. All of it.
Yeah. The frustration that comes with trying something new, right? And like,
Yes.
that's even that anxiety, that kind of the unknown, right? Yeah. And then the excitement when trying new things leads you closer in the direction that you want to be in.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you can get to a place where you have your own back, then you're willing to feel all the emotions. Like, God, it's super disappointing. I had this launch and like no one signed up. It's disappointing. I'm going to feel that disappointment.
Right.
But because I have my own back and I believe in myself and I trust myself, I'm going to get up. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to pivot and take some more action. And that moves me into a place of actually doing new things and accomplishing new goals. So a lot of times, like, why aren't people accomplishing goals? It's because they're here.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're not in here believing, trusting, having their own back, feeling all the emotions and continually moving forward. We end up quitting.
Yeah. I love how you explain them together and how they're different, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I think a lot of folks, when we think of confidence, you think of that synonymously with self-confidence,
Yes.
right? Yeah, instead of them being two different things that we experience and that are kind of, in our repertoire of understanding, right? Like how we interact with the world.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us believe when we were growing up, there was this idea that people are born confident.
Oh,
And like some of us just weren't born with self-confidence. Some of people were born with confidence and some of us weren't. Which
yeah.
is like now that I understand, because my coach, Brooke Castillo, is who taught me what self-confidence was. And that these were the 4 things that were required of it. And when I learned this, I was like, there's no way a human is born with these things.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, because when we were younger, you had kids in class who were like, well, kind of like the charismatic,
yeah,
kid, or like, I mean, we had, uh, oh, folks who like did well, with their gifts, whether they were like an artist or a singer, or they were in talent shows, right? Whether they were pageant kids, and so, they just seemed very charismatic, right? They weren't scared to get up in front of the class and read book reports or whatever.
yeah,
And so you just kind of thought, oh well, they were born confident, I mean, we're all young, so when
yeah,
did they have time to learn these things? But I think, yeah, it's sort of our understanding of, trying, or being self-confident in trying new things, right? But believing in yourself and having that support system to kind of help to shape, especially, when you're younger, shape that understanding of,
yes,
hey, like it's not the end of the world if things don't go right.
right, yeah. Yeah, and now that we're older and I understand psychology a little bit better and child development, it's like, well, of course those kids were a little bit more confident. It's the environment at home that
Yeah,
was like, yeah, like mom or dad was self-confident, right? They were willing to trust themselves, believe in themselves, have their own back. So they taught their kids, like, it's fine. You fail. It has nothing to do with who you are. That's a part of learning and growing is failing. And if you're not failing, you're not learning.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think part of it is they were taught that in that environment because that's what they see, right? That's what they reflect. They're
Mhm.
like, oh, mom, dad don't have any, trouble speaking in crowds or in front of people, or so they emulate that, right? Until they get older, and then they start to make that part of, yeah, their understanding of the world and who they are.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do think that kids, like little kids, like my niece, like
Yeah.
that 4 3 2 1, like I think they do kind of innately just like believe in themselves, trust themselves, and like
Yeah.
don't shame themselves. Um and I think they feel the feelings, but then we start conditioning them out of that,
Right. Yeah.
right? Like your teacher knows more than you. I know more than you as your parent, like the world knows more than you because we're adults and you're just a kid.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is what you guys need: self-confidence, these 4 things, believing yourself. And I'm not saying these are easy. Like a lot of most adults have been conditioned out of these things. But if you want to do new things, if you want to try new things, if you want a different life, these are the things that you have to learn to implement to get to where you want to go. This will not get you where you want to go. Confidence simply gets you the same results that you currently have.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I think confidence is sort of that. I mean, well, you said it's kind of that safety net,
Yep.
right? Yeah, because it's what we're familiar with. It's what our brain and our body automate over and over and over again, right? It's things that we can kind of fall back on. It's like, hey, and you become confident in it because it's people have told you you've done a good job, right? Or you're good at this, and you're like, yeah, because I've done it so many times, I could do it in my sleep.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see a very distinct difference now between confidence and self-confidence. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, friends, that's what I got for you guys. I hope you guys have a great day, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.